Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Josh, and welcome to another spectacular game of StarCraft 2. This one is going to be played between Evil Genius's IdrA, who is currently on a 2-0 romp in this Root Gaming versus Evil Genius's clan war. So let's see who Root Gaming put up for their third man against EG IdrA. It is in fact Root drewbie, the blue Terran over here on the right side of Lost Temple. That's right, Lost Temple, not Shattered Temple. This game is being played for the semifinals of the SGL, which is a clan war league, and Lost Temple's in the map pool because Shattered Temple basically didn't exist yet by the time the map pool was laid out. So here we are again on Lost Temple. It hasn't disappeared forever just yet. So IdrA down here is the red Zerg on the bottom spawn. We have close positions TVZ. Normally you would see a Zerg player freak out about this because Terran can do a lot of early aggression against Zerg, and it is still extremely annoying no matter what patch it is or what's going on in the meta game. Close positions TVZ is just hard to deal with. It's so hard to deal with, in fact, that Major League Gaming has decided to alter maps in their circuit so that close positions are not even possible on any map, unless it's a two-player map, obviously, and there's only close positions. But for any four-player map, they honestly have altered the maps so that they cannot have close positions. I think that's pretty interesting. I don't know if it's the best idea, since it does take away, it takes away something from the map, essentially making all of them three-player maps. Obviously, players don't have to scout the close position anymore, and they can rule out certain tactics and things like that. So it does alter the way the game is played, and I don't know if I like it or not. We'll have to see come MLG Dallas April 1st if this makes a huge difference or not. But either way, the game is starting to come into fruition here. We'll see what each player is doing here. Evil Genius's IdrA going hatch first this time around against his buddy, his best friend in the whole world, Root drewbie, and I say that in jest because Root drewbie is actually not IdrA's best buddy in the whole world. I believe IdrA believes that drewbie is a hack and should not be playing this game at all. And when I say a hack, I don't mean a hacker. I mean someone who sucks at the game. A hack, a no-talent phony, like maybe an actor who does Fruit Loops commercials or something. I don't know. But IdrA does not really have any respect for drewbie, and I believe drewbie would love this opportunity to play against IdrA to try and beat him for his team, Root Gaming. Drewbie is actually a team captain, along with Katz of Root Gaming, and both of these players have signed some mouse pads that I'm giving away on my channel. You basically only have 1 day left to try and win that, so if you didn't know about it, now you do. Go look at my channel, AskJoshy, and you can find out more. But this is let's see, what game is it? Game 4 here for this Root Gaming versus Evil Genius's clan war. Drewbie looks like he is getting a little bit aggressive and missed his bunker timing, as now there is creep on the ground. He needs to build that as close as possible if he's going to go through with this, and actually saw that hatchery finished up and decided, nope, screw it. Now that IdrA has more larvae to build speedlings and things like that, I don't even want to mess with it. Obviously, he does not have Zergling speed yet, but Drewbie doesn't really know that. Drewbie is expanding himself. So what was it, 1 barracks expand? Yes, it is. He's getting up 2 gas at a time right now, though. Not sure what he's going to be teching towards, but doesn't seem like he's going to be going for 4, 5, 6 racks against his Zerg opponent IdrA. It looks like he's just going to bunker up here at the front, try and maintain an economic, maybe not an advantage, but at least staying even with his Zerg opponent, and most players would consider it a disadvantage for a Zerg player to be on even bases with a Terran player, since they have orbital commands, and Zerg basically need a lot of hatcheries. They need to have multiple bases to stay ahead economically of that Terran player, so having an even number of bases, still potentially a disadvantage for the Zerg player. Factory coming down now for drewbie. He's headed toward a 1-1-1 sort of variation, maybe. We'll see what he actually ends up doing. Obviously, there's no starport yet, so we can't actually say that. He's transferring some SCVs right now over to his second command center, which is just now flipping over into an orbital command. IdrA getting his scouting overlord close to drewbie's base. He doesn't have an excess number of overlords just yet. There we see one did finish, and now he's building mass drones with those larvae, now that he has the supply space to be able to do that. Zergling speed being researched right now. Creep tumor there on the edge of his main creep. Going to join these 2 bases together. Always like to see that. Helps defense quite a bit when you can have your queens moving around very quickly. And of course, Zergling speed on creep is going to be quite a nice thing to have as well. Drewbie sticking to just 1 bunker full of Marines. The scouting overlord has reached Drewbie's main and sees the factory with a tech lab coming along. No starport up just yet. Drewbie is sending some Marines to come kill this guy off, and I believe he will be able to actually snag the kill here as long as he stays on top of it and doesn't let his Marines get out of range. Keep moving up. Keep moving up. You're not going to get the kill if you don't keep moving up. There he finally does. And there he goes splat off the edge of the cliff. So drewbie Looks like some speedlings actually did try to agitate his mineral line, but with these Marines in this bunker and nearby, IdrA is not going to be able to actually do much there at that mineral line. Here we see Infernal Pre-Igniter on the production tab, and there are 2 factories up now, in fact, making lots and lots of Hellions, so I believe drewbie will get up to at least 6 Hellions probably before trying to torch all the drones he possibly can. If drewbie hates workers as much as players like TLO does, then he might just build a bajillion Hellions and try to win the game with nothing but Hellions. And that actually happened. If you look for TLO versus Show, SJOW, on my channel, you'll see a game where TLO used nothing but Hellions and won. It was insane. But, yeah, I spoiled the game. Who cares? It's still really fun to watch a Terran versus Terran where the guy only builds Hellions. But we see 2 more gas coming now for drewbie. No starport anywhere yet still. I'm a little surprised to see that. Not sure if he can really bank on his whole strategy being nothing but Hellions. He's got 7 of them up right now with 2 more on the way. Armory coming up for drewbie and an engineering base. So it looks like turrets and Thors possibly in mind. IdrA is taking a 3rd base over here at the far left spawn. Cross spawns from drewbie, so actually should be pretty safe over there. I don't think drewbie's going to look there for quite a while. His lair is already completed, and he is getting a spire. So drewbie, obviously guessing that Speedling Muta would be coming along, is getting turrets, or at least an engineering base so he can make turrets. But now all these Hellions are in here torching these Lings. He spent a lot of time up there by that Spinecrawler and these Queens, though, that he really didn't need to. Now we see some drones starting to get torched, some real Zerg blood hitting the creep right now. Speedlings being torched as well. drewbie might be able to get up the ramp and do some damage up there as well, but there's no Queen defending for IdrA. He's only got some Speedlings coming along to try and finish off these Hellions. This one is in red health, this one's in yellow health. Will he be able to actually stop them before any more drones get roasted? And drewbie actually killed 1 more little drone before going down there. So actually both players even on Harvesters, 44 apiece. IdrA has the standing army though. 65 against 67, 69, whatever. They're very close, and actually in army value as well, they're very close. So just Speedlings against just Marines for the time being. No more Hellions on the ground for drewbie. Is he getting a Thor? Yes, he certainly is. He's getting 2 of them. His ramp is guarded by nothing but 2 depots and a reactor. His natural is guarded by just a couple of Marines tucked inside of a bunker, and IdrA is spending all his time getting some Mutalisks in the air, getting Zerg flyer attacks level 1, rebuilding, actually building more Queens, not even rebuilding, he didn't even lose any, and getting a Baneling nest. Where is that Baneling nest being hidden? There it is, right behind the natural mineral line, which will slow down more Hellions, or at least block them in place a little bit better, so decent building placement right there as well. What's coming up here? Starport right onto the reactor, 3 more barracks, so he's going Thor Marine, it looks like. Lots of Mutalisks in the sky now for IdrA, so those Thors will be quite handy. I don't see any turrets building, even though he's had an engineering bay for quite a while. He's just getting weapon upgrades with that. Now that he has an armory done as well, he can get some vehicle weapons and infantry weapons level 2 out of the engineering bay. So, setting himself up nicely, moving into the mid-game here, getting Stim Pack. Probably going to be getting all the infantry upgrades like concussive shells and combat shield. Maybe not concussive shells, actually, since he hasn't built a single Marauder just yet, and has seen now that Speedling Muta is the unit of choice, or the unit composition of choice from IdrA. Marauders don't do particularly well against either of those, so IdrA actually taking this time to spread his creep and his units all over the map. I really like the vision he has right now. He's got Mutas in the air for some map control. So if drewbie were to try to expand, say, to this top spawn location, it could be very hard for him to be able to hold that. I don't see him building a command center anywhere right now, though, so IdrA's just going to enjoy having 3 bases to drewbie's 2. You can see the Harvesters now in IdrA's favor as well. He's going to be stopping soon, probably around 80. I don't imagine him getting much more than 80 workers. And army value now is a totally different monster, but still very, very even. It was just Lings versus Marines a moment ago, but now we've got a decent unit composition for either player. A couple of medevacs in the air for drewbie. We've got tanks on the ground with siege mode. We have Thor, so it looks like he's transitioning into mech with Marines for mobility. Marines, of course, keep those Mutalisks away from your siege lines. Thors also help with that, but Thors can be, you know, magic box. They can be surrounded by Speedlings quite quickly, so they are kind of a liability sometimes. Engineering bay number 2 is done. He could get started on that armor weapon level 1, but look at his spending. It was under 100 minerals and 100 gas right there for a moment, and IdrA basically in the same boat, both players staring under 200 of every resource. I like that. And now we see a couple of turrets up, maybe actually just one turret up for drewbie. Nope, 2 turrets here. But he does have these mobile turrets, these Thors, which do incredible splash damage against those Mutalisks, so IdrA will need to be careful. That's why you don't really see him going in there trying to invest too much into these Mutalisks doing damage. He's just kind of floating around, keeping drewbie in his base while he gets the perfect army composition that he wants. We see a lot of banelings and speedlings waiting for infantry to move out, or these siege tanks to start sieging up. Not sure if IdrA will ever find a great opportunity until he gets maxed out. So he's actually taking a 4th base now. We'll see these mutas fly in and try to do some damage, killing off that turret incredibly quickly. SCV's under fire now. Lots of SCVs going down there. And now drewbie finally responds with the mobility of these stimmable Marines with their combat shield. So IdrA losing a couple of Mutalisks needlessly. Could have flown to the left side, but there is a little bit of another attack going on down here. IdrA chose that time to pounce with his banelings and speedlings, and now the Mutalisks are going to try and finish off some siege tanks. Might even score a medevac kill. No, he just continues on over his own creep where he has the speed advantage. drewbie dropping a scan, killing off some tumors. Looks like he's moving out towards IdrA's natural base now, so IdrA really needs to protect these Mutalisks as much as he can, try and kill off these Marines with the speed banelings that he's got rolling in there. We see medevacs under fire from the Mutalisks. This tank has no chance of surviving, and now IdrA with the quite large army value superiority, I want to say advantage, and everything's looking good for IdrA at the moment. He has all the units, all the supply. Harvester count should be well in his favor after killing those SCVs in drewbie's base, but actually drewbie winning the harvester count 64 to 54. That is quite interesting. When did IdrA lose drones? I don't know when that happened. I'll have to go back and look at the replay again. Yeah, IdrA has no workers at his main right now. What happened? Did he do a drop and I totally missed it? Interesting. But lots of Mutalisks in the air for IdrA now. That is 17 Mutalisks. Should be able to do a lot of damage with drewbie cautiously poking out. He's been on 2 bases this whole time, though, and his main is going to be mined out here soon, while IdrA's now on 4 mining bases. I say 4 mining bases, even though his main doesn't have any drones in it. Now he's starting to get some trickling in. But drewbie, if he can't actually make something happen here very soon, he's going to fall behind in the economic game, not be able to expand, and that's going to be basically it. Here we see he is dropping a command center, but I don't know where it's going to go. And also, kind of a weird placement to put your command center. He could have built it way back here, floated it down to behind this island expansion, or built it up in his main and floated it to the top spawn. Right here is just kind of interesting. Obviously, he's not going to try and take the gold, but now IdrA moving right in here with all his Mutalisks, all his banelings, trying to kill off absolutely everything here with this one swift attack. He is killing quite a lot of Marines with those banelings, basically taking them down to almost nothing. Oh my god, IdrA has all the units right now. Just killed a medevac full of Marines. drewbie did some good micro there to save them from the banelings, but could not save them from the Mutalisks. And now the army count is all in IdrA's favor. Once again, 137 against 87. Look at that value, way in IdrA's favor as well. Harvester count now pretty close to even though IdrA's income is way, way, way higher because he's working off of those 4 bases. He's got way more gas income and somehow some more mineral income as well. drewbie cannot expand. He loses that command center. He's at a huge disadvantage. He GG's out of the game on Lost Temple, so IdrA has just successfully killed off 3 Root Gaming members in a row in this Evil Geniuses versus Root Gaming clan war for SGL. Let's move on to the very next game. Root Gaming only has one more chance to try and win here and stay in the actual clan war, because if IdrA beats one more member of Root Gaming, that's going to be it. EG would have won the clan war 4-1, so we'll have to see what happens in the next game, who Root Gaming will put in as their anchor against the Zerg monster IdrA. Let's go see what map and who plays and all that good stuff.